Wominjeka, welcome. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I'm presenting today, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging. Louise Derman Sparks' research data informs that children begin to observe differences at a very early age. Therefore, schools and communities are mutually responsible for closing the gap between outcomes of all Indigenous and non-Indigenous students. Hello and welcome. Greg Drees's heartwarming picture book invites everyone to enjoy the corroboree and celebrates Australians' Indigenous heritage, past and present elders, future generations, and the cultural diversity we value today. Key features of the artefact. You immediately feel welcome as illustrations of bright, colourful traditional artworks by the author are engaging and eye-catching from cover to back. Illustrations that depict ancestors intertwine illustrations of how the modern-day Kamilaroi people celebrate and thank Father Sky and Mother Earth. Young school children are drawn taking part in traditional dance in school uniforms, alongside those dressed in more traditional ceremonial clothing. These past and present illustrations are vital when teaching for diversity, equity and inclusion, as they wipe out the warped paradigm of the real Aborigine, fed by the lack of historical perspective and the embedded misconception that Indigenous Australians are homogenous. Language used throughout the book is enchanting, captivating and inviting in ways that afford children to listen and learn together. Hello and welcome to our corroboree. Hello and welcome to our gathering. Rhyming verses and explanations of Indigenous language meanings, such as this sentence, are ingeniously spread throughout the book, affording children a way to make connections to the text meaning, building children's inclusive linguistic proficiencies, and cultivating culturally relevant ideas about the way we live and experience culture in our communities. The Australian curriculum affirms it has been estimated that 25% of Australian students have English as second or additional language or dialect, including Aboriginal students. YouTube access of the story is read by the author in both Kamilaroi language and English, offering a valuable teaching tool for differentiating teaching to meet the specific learning needs of students across the full range of abilities. The artefact aligns with broader educational policies such as Articles 29 and 30 of the United Nations Conventions on Rights of the Child and the Melbourne Declaration on Educational Goals for Young Australians. The key equity focus underpins a social justice lens as a clear status and culture is maintained, strengthened. The identities, spiritual and cultural practices of Indigenous communities is reflected throughout the artefact, improving educational outcomes for Indigenous students, supporting all young Australians to become successful learners, confident, creative individuals, active and informed citizens, and ensures a national curriculum that is free of discrimination. The 8 Ways pedagogy believes that we connect through the stories we share, and Nielsen and Donaldson harmonise this, stating children's literature is held in high regard as one of the fundamentals the community provides to young people in the hope of guiding them to success in their journey into adulthood. It is understood Indigenous learners learn best through narrative structures due to the strong oral traditions and narrative practices present in their communities. A two-way perspective of Western Indigenous systems intertwining the 8 Ways pedagogical framework and the 3 dimensions of the Australian curriculum ideally closes the gap and creates an anti-bias classroom as students develop perspectives towards the interconnection between language, culture, identity and country. Hello and Welcome is an excellent book for all primary age students, a useful teaching tool that draws on the fundamentals of creating a socially just educational context for enriching Indigenous perspectives and teaching diversity, equity and inclusion. The artefact acknowledges and values the cultural differences of students, avoids racial stereotyping, and enhances students' self-concepts and contributes towards the development of mutual respect and understanding. Sociological imagination is afforded as artifacts, text and illustration enables us to place our experience within a broader set of contexts, and children are presented the opportunity to imagine walking in the shoes of others whose influences, including historical, social, cultural and economic conditions, differ from their own. Clear limitations of the artefact are visible as all cultures and disabilities such as hearing, vision, and mental health are not addressed. This is true, although far deeper limitations can occur if the artifact is used to deliver approaches to diversity, equity, and inclusion in tokenistic ways. Even in the 21st century, teachers are being encouraged to underestimate cultures through tokenistic suggestions such as making didgeridoos from cardboard. Teachers can be reluctant when teaching for diversity and inclusion because they are afraid of upsetting cultures stemming from a genuine lack of knowledge and place of political correctness. Social justice policies, educational curriculums, and commitment to social justice are all worthy in theory, but a lack of knowledge can place hindrance onto the delivery of an anti-bias curriculum. Education can, however, turn a bias into a perspective, one that opens eyes and places emphasis on understanding rather than a blinder that affirms ignorance. It is imperative teachers reflect on their ability to meet the challenges that lie ahead, encompassing education policies and practices and the requirements of teaching and leadership. Know students and how they learn, and know the content and how to teach it. Father Sky, Mother Earth, together here with me. Different colours, different people, together in harmony.